If you think Trump will make Tinubu conduct free and fair elections, you have missed it. Daily Farotimi. Human rights activist Daily Farotimi has spoken about Nigeria's political direction ahead of the 2027 general elections, urging citizens to draw lessons from the 2023 polls and remain actively engaged in the democratic process. In a video published on his official YouTube channel on February 22, 2026, Farotimi encouraged Nigerians to carefully evaluate recent electoral developments, including events in Abuja, which he suggested could offer insight into what may actually happen in 2027, because there is a rigged election again in Abuja, and by the grace of God, nothing is going to happen, and that's just the truth. And that is what is going to happen in 2027. From Wike stopping people from moving around, putting a curfew on people, and then in a place where registered voters are not up to 250, but they are having 1,200 voters in that place. How come? So we really should carefully evaluate it, which is suggested could offer insight into what may happen in 2027. It stressed that voters must avoid repeating past errors and should remain alert and committed to protecting the integrity of future elections. Farotimi also addressed the belief held by some that foreign governments, particularly the United States, might step in to influence the conduct of Nigeria's election. I don't know if they'll be able to do that. It dismissed that expectation, arguing that the international community is already aware of Nigeria's electoral challenges and is unlikely to intervene directly. Yes. According to him, countries such as the United States typically prioritizes their own strategic interest over involvement in internal political reforms, but they came to put their mouth into our country and called our country a particular concern and said they were going to help us fight this Christian genocide that is going on. So why can't they also prioritize our internal? Why can't they also involve themselves in the internal political reforms of this country and help us have a free and fair election for the very first time in history? Why can't they do that? He remarked that anyone expecting external pressure to compel Nigerian leaders to deliver fair and fair election may be misguided. Oh, really? Wow. Farotimi concluded by emphasizing that the responsibility for credible elections ultimately rests with Nigerians themselves, urging citizens to take ownership of their democracy rather than relying on outside actors. And that is where revolution comes in, because at the end of the day, that's the only way to get what we want, to show these people that enough is enough. Tito Okoye says, the way and manner this human rights cash activist, that's a lie, he's not a cash activist. He's not a cash activist. Think and talk is so disappointing. So they are hoping Trump will make Tinubu conduct free and fair election. Yes, why can't we hope for that? Why can't we hope for that? It must be the height of despair and desperation. Yes, you know that. Oh, you are not suffering, and that's why you are not desperate. You are desperate to have a good leader in this country. If you are not desperate, come and sit down. For those among them like Daily Farotimi who ought to know better to be also merely mounting such hubris, why don't they first ask whether Trump has been able to oversee the conduct of free and fair credible elections in his own USA without the illegal gerrymandering that he's pushing GOP state to do? I sabi that one. Everyone says then he will go to the way of Maduro. So the Mokeza says, sir, you may not blame them because our democracy don't enter from precarious to awaiting intensive care units. No be small thing. We need help. Now make foreign assistance is sought. Yes, we really need help. We really, really need help. Considering what happened in Abuja on Saturday election is going to be first to jump and touch the moon. Oh, of course, says, why are people this senseless, even with their education? What concerns Trump in Nigeria election? No be small thing. Feribo says, Tinubu has corrupted Trump with money. Obviously. Alakodanda says, may Tinubu succeed. All I want is finish with bandits and Boko Haram so we can go back to our villages. Self-deceit. Olawale says, this disgruntled element has contributed nothing to the growth of the nation. What is he supposed to contribute? Is he a politician? Olawale, to you, that you are saying Daily Farotimi should have contributed something to the growth of the nation. You, what have you contributed to the growth of the nation? What have you done to the growth of this nation? Would you stop making noise? You to stop making noise. You hear this me. What's calling kettle black? I said, Hindu says, what kind of foolish thinking is this? Is Nigeria under Trump or the US? Is Trump the leader of Africa or Nigeria? Well, I don't know, but we know that Trump would usually help people. If he can actually help us to make sure that, probably, I don't know, they put something on ground to make sure that the election is fair and fair. We don't mind it, probably monitoring it or something. It's not like they should come and take charge of the election itself. That's not what we are saying. Segun Balogun says the IPOB people are so lazy and fraud-oriented. What brought IPOB into this matter now? Who mentioned IPOB? Segun Balogun. You are a very tribalistic person, Segun. You need to change your ways. And fraud-oriented, that they think they can go to sleep when others are campaigning and expect backdoor victory effortlessly. Who is campaigning? Who are the ones campaigning? I beg. They have been like this since 1960. And will ever remain backward in thinking. You are talking rubbish, Segun. Charles says, I don't want to dignify you with response. You are one of the most unserious person I've ever seen through very useless comment. I'm telling you, this Segun Balogun, his comment is always off. Everybody will be going right, he will be going left. He's always talking rubbish. So I've known him for that. Ford consultancy says, intervened as in how? The same way we intervene when Trump rigged his election. We should stop this rubbish. It's called politics. Oh, okay. Now, Ifeoma Maduka says, what is bigger than election will come upon him soon. Amen. Apology says, continue feeling yourself. No vacancy in Aso Rock in 2031. It is only God that has the final say. It is not you people that are saying, no, there's no vacancy in Aso Rock. There's this, there's that, there's dirty. That's your own cup of tea. Hotel Sofa says, what is the business with Trump with the Nigeria election? Wordscom says, but you can't give what you don't have. Is there free and fair election in USA? At least to an extent. Maybe they might be hiding some aspect of free and fair election, but to some extent, there's free and fair election in USA. At least if it's not free, if it's not what the people of USA wanted, they'll probably protest and they are going to get what they want. Not unlike Nigeria, when they'll tell you, go to court. At the end of the day, you go to court and there's nothing to show for it. So even if there is no free and fair election in USA, the people of USA can actually come outside to complain, and they will not shoot them tear gas or try to buy them. They will be listened to, they will be heard, and the right thing will be done. That is the kind of level we should get to in this country. That's the kind of level we should get to. I therefore say, tell your Biafra brothers who put their trust on humans. Okay now. And listen, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.